Hi, I just want to let you know October 25th, which is this Saturday, I will be in Columbus, Ohio, opening for the band Glow Stick. Yes, at Woodlands Tavern in Columbus, Ohio. And tickets are on sale right now. SUMPmusic.com. That's SUMPP music.com. On with the podcast. Yo, hey, my name is Neil Patterson. This is SUPcast episode number 102, I believe, and I'm with my Canadian friend John Ublanksy, aka John the Fawn Doe. He is a Canadian student, musician, dude, bro. A friend in real life, but also friend of the show. This is the second time. Yeah, hi.
Second time on the show, and I guess we've collaborated musically and stuff too.
Yeah,
I suppose.
John plays bass and guitar on the SUMPP song "Punk Is Dad," which is on the new-ish EP. A great way to make a living EP by SUMPP, and it's the ending track. And there's a lot of guitar soloing and bass rocking, slappery. And it's done by John here. And I'm here with John from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Tell all the Americans about Ottawa, Ontario, Canada.
What about it? It's the capital of Canada.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Is that it?
I mean, like, what else is there? We got a bunch of Govey buildings. We got we're close to Quebec. We have like poutines. I know you like poutine.
Yeah, the last three times I've been in Canada, I didn't have poutine. I just had it that once, 2014.
Yeah. Also, you've been going to Toronto. Don't have a Toronto poutine. That's not no.
That's a no, huh?
That's a no.
What about
That's not what they're known for. The closer to Quebec you are, the better the poutine is.
what about the Toronto poutine makes it lackluster?
I don't know. It's been a while since I've had one. I just recall like poutine is very much like a part of French Canada, and the further you get from French Canada, just like the worse any culture having to do with French Canada becomes. Like you get the right stuff here because we're really close to the Quebec border, and this is like a bilingual city. In Quebec, it's going to be like the best, and you get it like New Brunswick and out on the East Coast too. But like I feel like Toronto, Southern Ontario, like not really part of French culture, and out west, not really a part of French culture. But like here and everywhere east of here, like forget about it. Like it's good.
Okay, so the closer proximity to French Canada, better poutine.
Yeah, basically.
All right, cool, sick. And also, I heard they have a good shawarma in Ottawa.
Yeah, we're the shawarma capital of the world, at least highest amount of shawarma places per capita. But I learned this weird thing from my buddy recently that apparently all our shawarma places, because shawarma is Lebanese food, but apparently like almost all the ones around here are Syrian owned. Because we also have a big Syrian population, and it's funny too because all the pizza places here are Lebanese owned. Which is interesting, like, because we have this, it's a different style of pizza here because it's like Lebanese pizza. It's not Italian pizza. But I was joking about this with my buddy who's Syrian, who was saying, he's just like, yeah, like Ottawa's the only place you'll go where all the Italian places are Lebanese and then all the Lebanese places are Syrian.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, the all Italian food is like Lebanese owned is like also a thing here. It's really random, but it's sweet because you get like I don't know, you ever had like toom, like Lebanese garlic sauce?
Yeah, I mean, in Dearborn, where my mom lived for years and years and years, there's a lot of Mediterranean restaurants, and
Oh yeah.
it's that like minced, like crushed garlic, the white stuff.
Yeah. Like all it is yeah, it's just like emulsified fucking garlic, olive oil, and like lemon juice. Like that's all it is. But it rules. And if you get a pizza here and you order garlic dip, like you get that with your pizza because it's
Ah,
Would you say?
Because in the States, if you get garlic dipping sauce with your Papa John's or whatever, it's just oil and garlic. It's like it isn't a spread like that. There's no viscous. It's just like oil. It's oily and gross. Hey, you said emulsified. Can you explain emulsification? Because I know you're going into like some sort of food science thing. I'm curious.
Um, oh my God, I don't know if I'm ready to explain that yet. I don't know. Emulsifications when you is when it's when you blend things together in a way that like actually makes the things that wouldn't normally blend together blend like it's the same. I don't know all the science behind it, but it's like the same way you'd make like a yeah, like that kind of dip. It's the same way you'd make like a Caesar dressing or something, by like adding the oil slowly and mixing it in. So things that would usually separate, yeah, will like actually like come together to make something kind of like viscous and creamy.
Yeah, because the oil, like garlic, like if you crush garlic, it because that's my question is because I've had that sauce 1,000 times. How does it get to that consistency? Because it's garlic. Like garlic, even if you mash it all up and mince it up, like that's through the emulsification.
Yeah, so like typically you like I think the only ways you could really make it is with yeah, like a hand immersion blender or with like a food processor where you're like blending and you're adding the oil slowly as you go, so the oil's like slowly mixing into it rather than just trying to yeah, just because if you tried to just blitz it in a blender, it just wouldn't work. Like making pesto is like kind of the same thing too. Like you have to kind of add the oil slowly and the process of emulsification, which again, later, eventually I'll be able to explain that in further detail, I hope. But yeah, you can't just blast it all together because it won't mix. Like you have to kind of be moving it and slowly adding the oil so so it becomes all like, kind of fluffy or whatever.
Yeah, so that garlic sauce, you're saying it's only three ingredients. It's garlic, oil, and lemon, and that's it.
And like salt, I think.
Okay, because I've asked the people at the restaurant before, but like, is this healthy? Because there's a part of me that felt like there was some sort of starch in it, like a potato or something.
No, there's no starch in it.
That,
It's just it's the method of making it. But also too, I mean, just like depending on what kind of oil they use, how healthy is it to consume like a bunch of oil?
well, if it's olive oil, I mean, still it's calorie dense, but it's not as bad as if it were. Yeah, that's it. Because according to everything you read over here, it's the seed oils that'll kill you.
Yeah, and I've heard that's even like debatable too. Like I
Right.
think it's more yeah, I don't know, it's everything in moderation, Like olive oil and butter like isn't bad for you, but if you like, I don't know, ate a whole stick of butter like with your meal, it's probably not great for you.
That's what they say. So
I
yeah,
don't know. I'll try to eat a whole pound of butter tomorrow. I'll let you know how it goes.
tell me about Squealy Dan.
Oh yeah, it was a video I made yesterday where it was just like the meme where it's like therapist Squealy Dan isn't real, he can't hurt you. It's that one, and then I just played the vocal melody of Reeling in the Years with all pinch harmonics.
Yeah, so like Squealy Dan.
Yeah, Squealy Dan, squealing in the ears.
I'm gonna put that in the podcast. I'm gonna edit it in here with my technology. But 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 yeah.
Oh
So
yeah, later.
yeah, I can do anything I want because we're recording this and I can plop it in there. So would you say because you do a lot of work on Fiverr and you would consider yourself a session musician, right? And, I know you also play in a band, but you're like constantly making music on the internet and for artists all around the world, right?
Yeah, I mean, I do it less now than I used to. Like, I only do maybe like two, three, four, five at the most, like a month at this point. But I've recorded like over 500 songs on the internet, like since I started in 2020. So I guess that would make me a session musician if I've done 500 of them, you know?
I would say so.
Yeah. Even if I'm, only doing maybe like, I don't know, a few dozen a year at this point.
So a multi-instrumentalist working for the Fiverr platform. People from all over the world hit you up and they're like, "Hey, can you do this in the song?" And then you do it for them, right?
Yeah. Although again, now since I'm like less reliant on it for a job, I'm a little pickier about what I take on now. I kind of don't want to just try to do like any old thing. I try to only do like songs that I actually like.
So the artist will send you the full song or like a demo and be like, "Hey, can you do A, B, and C on this?"
Yeah, and I mean, there's like different, what's it called? People have like different expectations. Sometimes it's like, hey, I have this MIDI bass line. Can you just like record it human and just like, liven it up a little? Sometimes they're just like, I want you to kind of like write something from scratch. Like the guy I'm talking to now, is like doing this like prog song. He's in like a very early stage of production. He's a little silly. He's cool though. Where, yeah, just like, I don't even like describe it really. Just like there's just not a lot of form yet. It's like a very early stage of production, and I'm kind of just like, hey, bro, like, I'm gonna need like a little bit of melodic framework to follow. Like, I need at the very least some kind of like scratch guitars or like scratch keys, because like, especially if there's a lot of moving parts or whatever, just like I kind of like need to know what I'm doing. So like I don't know, I could show up in any stage of production. It's nicest, when I'm just replacing a bass line or something at like the last minute and like the song's like already pretty much entirely like there. And I don't know. Sometimes it's like people looking for like loops for electronic compositions. Like it can be a lot of random stuff. I've recorded like a couple of like videos for like Instagram ads and stuff, just for yeah, like for like app developers and stuff before. So you can end up doing like some random stuff if you're kind of open to it.
But you're primarily doing guitar on the Fiverr stuff.
Um, it it kind of what's it called? Like it kind of cycles back and forth between if I'm like doing more guitar, I'm doing more bass. Like lately, I've like only really been doing bass, but for a while, I was kind of like only doing guitar. So I don't know, it's just what people want, or
What
you
would
know.
what would you consider your primary instrument?
I just play music, bro.
But I mean, like, I don't know. When I met you, you were bitchin' bass player. I hired you to play in my silly band
Yeah,
for a
and I
couple
mean, I
tours.
think I still play bass, and like I don't know, like the way I kind of look at music is just like I'm just like all the ideas like are in here, and just like whatever instrument I'm using is just a tool that I'm using to get what's in here like out of here. So sometimes that tool is going to be a guitar, sometimes that tool is going to be a bass, sometimes that tool is going to be a drum kit, sometimes that tool is going to be just like running some stupid sample into a DAW and like distorting and reversing it or something. Like I don't know, like so like I don't know. I don't try to think of myself as like, you know, I'm saying that so bad, but I don't like to lock myself. I don't. Yeah, it's so weird. I'm on the spot. Usually we're just like chatting. Now I can like see myself on like the camera and
Just
stuff.
pretend like we're just, because that's the thing is he and I will bullshit on the phone for hours about stuff because I've spent many a week in, sleeping on floors with this guy in the van, driving around, playing shows, yada yada. So it's like our rapport is pretty casual, but yeah, you once you throw a camera in the mix, it changes everything, huh?
Yeah, exactly. But either way, just like I'm just a musician. I play whatever. I was doing a bit more guitar, like, but I was finding like when I didn't play bass because I'm kind of such a heavy-handed bass player or whatever. Like I found like I lost my callus and stuff. So like every time I try to play bass, I just get blisters. But I've been trying to kind of power through a little bit, especially because I've been getting more bass work lately. I'm just like I can't be like getting blisters every time I'm like trying to play bass. So I've been trying to power through it, get some of my bass dexterity back. I've been playing along with what's it called? Yeah, it's like the 1 thing that I like about AI is using AI to remove the bass from songs, so I could just play along and like improvise my own bass lines on them. Like that's kind of sick.
I mean, there's a lot of things that it can do as a tool that are helpful. I understand where people are coming from with the generative aspect, where it's just it's replacing the entire process. Like that shit's kind of whack. But definitely, yeah. There's an AI tool that adds captions to videos, and I make content for clients and stuff. So I'm constantly making short form content, and that eliminates a very time sucking step of the process when you're making short form content. And that's going into Premiere and putting captions on everything. And I will say the captions app on my iPhone, it may look a little cheesy at times, but it listens to the audio and it writes the captions and it places them and it animates them, and I use it. I've been trying to stay away from the generative stuff lately, but yeah, that's a tool with being able to make stems and remove certain elements from an audio file and then play along with them. I mean, it's people, it's here, man.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the way I look at it. Is just like, that's robot stuff. Use the robots to do the robot things. Just don't use the
Right.
robots to do the human things.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's what they're for.
Right. It's a tool. Like using it as a tool. I guess one could say, how could it hurt if it means more time for you to do more human things, more time for you to like create and do the human things, because I'm able to eliminate steps B and C with the robot. But I mean, there's AI mastering tools that I've started hiring a mastering engineer, because I think just the human touch and someone actually listening to the tune, I get a better final product if I hire an actual human being to do that step,
Totally, because I mean, before it was like AI, it was just like using algorithms or whatever. Like, I mean, like Lander's been doing like the upload the song and pay $10 to have it mastered for like a long time, like way before generative AI.
Right.
So like,
I heard about that back probably 10 years ago.
yeah, like, that's what I mean, like way before. Like, it's not like a new thing, but like now their technology is just like, yeah, it's just more advanced than it used to be or whatever. But at the same time, too, yeah, like do it with a person. Human touch is nice. I mean, me personally, like I know how to like, run a limiter and a couple plugins on like the end of a chain. Like I have no reason to like use AI to do it. But if I was doing like a bigger production that I wanted to like, really sound good, I just, hire somebody with a good set of ears.
On Fiverr. No,
Maybe on
you know
Fiverr.
people. You know enough people.
Yeah, it depends like what I'm doing. I mean, I've sometimes when I'm getting my work done, for some music I've done, I've found people on Fiverr because I know a lot of I don't know, for some reason, a lot of people seem to like have a stigma about it. Like they don't want people to know that that they hired a Fiverr musician or like a Fiverr engineer for something. Like it's weird. Like they think it's I don't even know how to describe it, but yeah, they think it's like a lowly thing to do that you like, I don't know, should know people through your own network and that like you just hired this stranger online through a freelance platform or whatever. I don't know, kind of similarly to like, when somebody's just like when people are like dating and they met on a dating app and they like make up like a fake story about how they met or something. I feel like it's kind of similar to that.
Yeah, but this is the thing is all of these services are so commonplace at this point. Like dating online is almost the standard at this point. So like, why would you, why does the stigma exist?
Exactly. And I think it's like kind of silly. Like, I mean, the way I see it, like I'm on there, I get hired by people. I have like no qualms hiring somebody if I need a specific like freelance service or whatever. Like it depends. Like, I don't know, for like when I'm looking to hire like an artist or something, I'll like scroll around Fiverr, see if there's somebody whose like style I like. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. If there isn't, maybe I'll like talk to a couple other people I know that are like on the scene, be just like, what artists do you use? Is there anybody like on Instagram that you like that I could like send a DM to or something? Like, the way I see it is just it's just another way that you can connect with like yeah other artists or I don't know freelancers if it's like I don't know like a web design or like not like an artistic necessarily thing. But yeah, it's just one more way, and there's nothing wrong with using it when it's there. I think like we're so online and connected with everything now. Like, yeah, why not?
Right. And also, if they're providing that service to other people, then the proof is in the pudding. Like, these people are doing this shit professionally, and there's probably examples you can see before you decide to hire the person, and you just be like, okay, I like this person's work. They might be from a different country, but they're available and the price is reasonable. Like, what's the harm in using a service like that?
Oh, totally. I mean, there's a lot of safety in it and stuff too, of just like you're doing it, you know, through a third party platform. Like the way like an order works is like the payments basically like is basically like a retainer payment or whatever that doesn't actually get processed until the order's confirmed. So like again, as both like buyer and a seller, like there is safety in that, especially as the buyer. I mean, it's very much a buyer's platform, but like you have a lot of safety. Your payments on retainer, you could like get it back if something goes wrong, if the person like disappears. You know, there's a rating system, so just like people are going to be a lot more apt to like you know want to keep you happy if you have the ability to like rate them really badly, which again can be annoying as like a seller too, because if you ever like deal with like an asshole, they can like you know try to hold that over your head or whatever to like try to extort you for free labor or whatever, like or yeah, that's like another reason why I'm like kind of careful about like who I work with and stuff. And also another gripe I kind of have with the platform is it's just they take a pretty big cut, and then there's a bunch of additional fees on top of that too. So like I like what you end up paying is definitely quite a bit more than what the person on the other end is getting. I'd say like the person on the other end is like maybe getting 60 to 65% at the end of the day of
Oh, damn.
what yeah, is what's being spent on them. Because like Fiverr's marketplace cut is 20%. And then there's a bunch of fees on top of that and tax that like you don't get the fees and the tax the person pays on it. You just get 80% of what the payment is. So like I find because I'm trying to compete with a yeah, just like in a global marketplace where I'm also in competition with like, you know, people in regions where like the dollar value is like a lot lower, like I definitely like charge less on Fiverr than I would if I was to do something privately, just because I know what the person's going to end up spending is going to end up being so much more. I feel like I just never get hired if I charged what I wanted to charge.
Yeah, it's tricky, huh?
Yeah, like when I do, like every once in a while, oh, or just like people that I already know, like I'll sometimes do stuff for, or my buddy runs like a studio, where he has like a couple of like engineers who like works there, and everybody's like a musician, so like they'll figure out how to do stuff. But every once in a while, they'll get like a project that's like I don't know, really funky or something. None of those guys can really play funk, so they'll just yeah, they'll just hire me on, and I definitely like charge them a little more than I'd like charge on Fiverr.
Right. Just gives me like eBay vibes or like Uber too. It's like one of those things where you in the States, you get an Uber ride and you're paying X amount of money, but you know, like in your heart of hearts that the people doing the actual labor are only getting a percentage of that. Same thing with eBay. There's so many fees on eBay, and you sell something, you're all stoked because you're like, oh, I just sold this item for $120. But then when you actually get your payout, it's like 80, you know, and it's kind of like, this is the way. Unfortunately, because these companies, they give you the visibility that you wouldn't get in, like you said, a global marketplace. You know, like on eBay, you think you put something on eBay and you'll start getting bids immediately, and it could be anywhere in the country, and it's all people searching for that specific item. So it's almost like a guaranteed sell. you kind of have to just be okay with eating a little bit of your sale price because you're being thrust into this ability to do something very easily, put yourself out there very easily, you know? Same thing with Etsy. So,
Yeah, totally. Like I think it's like what's it called? Um yeah, just the way the world's kind of set up is just like I don't know, everybody's just like looking to yeah, just like get in the middle of something and just middleman a process. Like I find Uber Eats is the most like annoying one. Or I don't know if you have that as much in the States, or like DoorDash and stuff.
oh, well, yeah, it's huge over here. Yeah.
Yeah. But like I find again, I work at a restaurant part time, and yeah, just like everybody complains about Uber Eats. Just like the restaurant, they take such a huge percentage that the restaurants make less money, usually have to charge more for the food, and then like the drivers aren't making, yeah, are saying they're not making enough money, and then the people who are buying it are complaining that it's like too expensive, you know, that you're paying like $40 to like get your meal for one like delivered to you. But at the end of the day, people keep getting it because it's convenient.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like that convenience that makes, you know, paying this third party that facilitated a service, you know, like worthwhile for the person doing it. And like as far as like Fiverr is concerned, you know, most of the people that I've contacted on there, I guess when I did more content creation, like people would find me like through Content Made or whatever. But now that I'm not really making content other than, you know, Squealy Dan, you know, like once every blue moon,
Important.
is yeah, like I just recorded like bass for a dude in Malta like a couple weeks ago. It's just like how the hell would I have been like connected with like some random like Maltese dude just making music for his own personal enjoyment, you know, if it wasn't for Fiverr.
That's what I'm saying. It opens you up to connect with people all fucking over the place. And, you know, if you have to lower your rate a little bit, there's something to be said about, I like, it's safe to assume you got more work being on Fiverr than if you were just like screaming into the void on the internet, hey, I play instruments. Who wants to hire me? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's
Oh, 100%. Yeah, like my friend my friend Corey, like you know, oh, I mentioned him to you, but like he's also like on Fiverr and has like does content on and off. I was watching a video where he was interviewing like another like mixing engineer and music producer who like didn't use Fiverr, and being just like, yeah, like how do you promote yourself without it? And yeah, just like basically like you gotta be super like socially outgoing. You gotta be like a schmoozer. And if you're not schmoozing in public, you gotta be like schmoozing online. You have to be yeah, you have to just like see bands you like. You have to like you have to cold call in their DMs or whatever. You got to like maintain rapport, be like, "Oh, I heard your new album. Like sounds great." Like you got to be schmoozing all the time.
yeah.
And like I don't know, I'm pretty introverted. I don't like have it in me to schmooze. So at the end of the day, like, you know, if I have to like take a little pay cut for somebody to find the work for me without having to like you know, message 100 people until somebody's interested in hiring me or whatever, like that's probably more worthwhile to me. And also like I'm kind of at a point in my life where just like I don't need, again, I'm in college for like yeah, for like health sciences right now. Like I'm not really trying to make music my career at this point in my life. I feel just like if money's what I'm after, there's plenty of ways to make money that are like a lot easier and a lot less competitive.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'd rather, you know, music is something that like I'm very passionate about. And yeah, just from my experience, the more money you try to make from your art, the more you end up having to compromise the things that make your art like your own. And I mean, some people are just very lucky. And well, it's a combination of luck and hard work. I can't say it's like all luck. But you know, some people kind of just like strike oil where just like they make the right thing, and that thing that was like deep from their soul just like speaks to a lot of people, and they just like get to make the music that is real to them and live off of it. But for the most part, I find that's like the minority of people. Most people, like yourself, have to be hustling all the time when they're not playing. And, music is just one of many sources of income for them. And they just do it because they love doing it.
Yeah, because there's the option to kind of manufacture a sound or a project that you know is going to fit into something that's financially viable or marketable, like, you know what I mean, like joining a cover band or something like that. Like it's a safer bet than writing fart songs, on the internet and like just hoping that it cultivates an audience. Like, and that's the one thing that for the longest time, I was just like, yeah, dude, like, I'm, I don't know. It's almost like a form of delusion where you convince yourself that whatever's near and dear to me is definitely going to be consumed widely. And it took me a really long time to be like, okay, the shit that I like to make, there is a very niche audience for this. And if I was involved in this music shit, not to make art, but solely to make money, I would do things completely differently, because there's not a lot of money in writing fucking weird songs that make me laugh. You know what I mean?
No, totally. And I think like, I don't know, the people that I do know who like live off music full time, well, it's almost nobody who plays in a band. Like,
Right.
let's be real.
Right.
Yeah, is bar musicians who like play the cover scene, even if it's some people who are doing like a mix of originals and covers or whatever. Um, yeah, if you have like good relationships, you have like, 2 house gigs a week with like 2 different bars, and then you're doing like some other things on the side, that could do it. But again, you got to be playing mostly covers because people aren't coming to do, people usually aren't coming to see the same like originals like week after week. Like you can sneak a couple originals in. Or, I mean, the most common thing for musicians to make money, I think, is like teaching. Um,
Right.
yeah, like I know a lot of people that do a combination of gigging and teaching, and like that's enough to sustain themselves full time. Like me personally, I just suck at. I'm just not a good teacher. Like because I'm self-taught, I don't really know how to teach because I don't know how to really learn in like a formal one-on-one setting. So I've tried it before, and people are just like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And I just be like, "Yo, you just do it," like, which I think inherently kind of makes me. Yeah, I mean, teaching is its own skill, completely outside of like doing the thing that you're teaching. And all the other things people like do to make money doing music. What's it called? Yeah, producing, mixing, working sound live. But like these things again too, like they're all services that you're providing for other people. And even like what's it called? Being a session musician, I also consider like service work in that sense as well. Like you are providing a service for people. Sometimes, people want you to write your own parts for their song, but sometimes like they don't. Sometimes they just want you to play what they have in your head. And it's just your job to like figure out how to translate their idea into something tangible.
Would you consider being a musician like you're part of the service industry at large?
Uh, depends on what. I don't really think of a performer like that so much, but like a teacher or like a session musician or like a mix engineer or something, like 100%.
Because when I hear people talk about the service industry, I just think about like service industry food service.
Yeah, like hospitality, yeah.
Yeah, or
Um,
or like yeah, you work at a hotel or something. Like
yeah.
but like it's funny that the way you describe it, you're like, yeah, you're providing people. It's a service. Like you're providing people a service. I'm like, I don't. Is being a session musician or a teacher part of the greater service industry at large? Like, would you consider like a barber to be part of the service industry?
I guess in that sense, maybe I'm just kind of cook pilled and just like everything's like melting together in my head.
Yeah, everything's a service. Well, I mean,
But like,
that's capitalism, period.
yeah, like that's the thing. And like, I don't really think I guess like I just don't think of like actually being the entertainer kind of the same as I think of just like being a freelancer that's hired by an entertainer in order to create a project.
Yeah.
Like I think they're kind of like different things. Like when you're the entertainer, um, you're kind of more. Well, I guess it's a little different if you're. See, there's so much nuance. I can't really
Right.
like just like throw it out like a cold hard fact or whatever. But just like yeah, when you're the artist, like you're the one like creating the thing. But if you're working for the artist, you're working for the artist. Like you're just they're paying you for your expertise in whatever that is, whether it's like you play an instrument that they don't play, or like you can mix a record and they suck at mixing. So like you hire the right team, like you're just part of somebody else's team when you're doing all that.
Back to the teaching thing. I remember I was in this dude's apartment, and this was back when I was doing private guitar lessons, and this was all like it. It was all pretty much just me through my band being like, "Hey, I'll teach you guitar." So I had a bunch of randoms, and I went to this guy's apartment. He had me teach him Nickelback, and I was like trying to figure out the chord progression and the guitar part like in front of him, because I had to figure it out before I taught him how to play it. And it got real quiet, and I remember he looked at me and he's like, "How long have you been doing this for?" And I'm like, "Doing what?" He's like, "Teaching guitar." And I just remember it was like the most awkward experience because I'm in this guy's house trying to teach him Nickelback of all things, and then he started grilling me about my credentials as a teacher, and I'm just thinking to myself, man, I don't know if I'm cut out for this.
Yeah, if you're charging them money or whatever, like yeah, that's what I said. Like teaching is its own skill, man. Like you could be like not the best player in the world, but like if you're just like an average player, but you're really good at explaining it to somebody who's like learning, like you could
Right,
still be a really good teacher
right.
without being that good at guitar or whatever. And, you know, on the other end of the spectrum or whatever, you could be really good at guitar because things just come super naturally to you, and then you just don't know how to explain it to somebody else that it doesn't come naturally to.
Right. I remember I had a student once, and once they learned past a certain point, I didn't know what to teach them from that because like once I learned a certain set of grids and chords, it was all just experimentation after that for me. You know what I mean? And there's no real way for me to be like, yeah, you just like noodle for years and you figure out how to do different things. Like, I don't know. I was just terrible at explaining that shit because so much of what I do is just instinctual and comes from doing it a lot as opposed from any sort of formal education, you know?
Yeah, I tried the same. Like most of it's just trial and error for me. Like I took some guitar lessons, you know, when I was in like the eighth grade or something, just because, you know, when I wanted to learn an instrument, like my mom like was a piano teacher when she was younger and kind of figured and from a classical background, it's just like you need instruction. And, you know, sent me to just like local music school for like a year, and I just found just like the guy didn't really teach me the things that I wanted to learn. And I was just like, well, I don't really need these lessons. And you know, my family's kind of just like, well, like how are you going to learn if you don't have a teacher? And I just be like, I'll just teach myself. And yeah, like I just taught myself. Maybe there were quicker ways of like getting from point A to point B, but like I think I'm like pretty good. And yeah, I just put, I don't know, I put my 10,000 hours in probably like almost 20 years ago already. Like I'm probably sitting at closer to like 50,000 hours or something right now. So like I feel like I kind of know what I'm doing. And I don't know, maybe too, because I had my own approach to it, I find there's like some really common techniques that I like kind of suck at, but like there's some stuff that is very like odd and unique that like I'm really good at and stuff too. And I don't know, I think like if I had been doing it like in a more like formal education system, I probably would have like different approaches to how I do things. I think my voice is very uniquely my own. And the fact that I taught myself how to do it probably contributes a lot to that. I don't know.
Yeah, because if you were learning everything within the confines of like the correct way to do things, you probably wouldn't have created your own like alien, amalgamation of how to do stuff. Like when I think of Ron, I think of Ron as like someone that doesn't even know where an F sharp is on the fretboard, but he comes up with this like crazy alien shit, and a lot of times the riffs and stuff that he comes up with, they don't even exist within the confine of even a key signature, because he's just like an alien. He's approaching this instrument with like a kind of a lack of coloring in the lines.
Yeah, it's almost like an outsider music kind of scenario. Ron rules though. He's a sick bass player.
That's what I'm saying. And even his
Yeah.
even his guitar lines that he makes up for the Drawn thing, and Don too, because Don works in Ableton now, and he plays multiple instruments. But there's like there, I don't know. It seems so free when I listen to what they come up with, because it's just these textures and sounds that they don't exist within the confines of like the circle of fifths or fucking any sort of like you couldn't tell me what the key is. There's some sort of resolve in some of the riffs, but then it goes into something that is completely out of those guidelines,
You need to listen to more of their newer stuff. I actually listened to 69 minutes of music like pretty recently, like a month ago or something. I just felt like listening to 69 minutes of music. Um,
I just like that they're making stuff for themselves, and they're not even really concerned with sharing it on a mass level or trying to garner listenership. They're just like, this is for our mental health. Like, I think one of their EPs is called Mental Health, like volume 1 and 2. I think they made 2 of them.
oh
2.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's beautiful. Like, I mean, that's what art is like supposed to be.
Exactly.
Um, and yeah, again, it's like it's that same approach. And yeah, I don't know what Don does. I've never like met him or whatever, but I mean, like, yeah, like Ron's a career-oriented dude. He's like a nurse. He's got like or works something in like healthcare like that, but he has
Yeah.
like a job that's a big part of his life. He's got like a wife and stuff. Like he's not trying to make music his career. He's trying to make like art that moves him.
Yeah, and that's important. And that's something, for the longest time I was trying to make my silly band into a job, and I think it was the source of a lot of man, just when you have lofty expectations for one of the most impossible tasks that exists in the world, it can be a source of despair and depression, and it just was bad. I think similarly to what Don and Ron are doing, I think just being able to just instinctually make stuff that makes me laugh and feel good, and it's not as calculated. It's a nice I don't know, retreat from the whole idea of like, I gotta make that. I like being able to turn my brain off and make money doing other shit. Like I cooked some burgers today at the catering company. It's not the best. I don't want to be doing it in 10 years, but it's there, and I can turn my brain off. And I find too, when you're doing like manual labor type stuff, it gives you time to be inside of your brain and think of concepts and stuff. I remember I came up with a lot of songs when I was bussing tables at my first job.
Oh, totally, man. Like with like my old band, I used to work like a lot of really shitty temp labor. And I remember just like I wrote a lot of songs just yeah, working an assembly line at like a printing factory or whatever. It's like the most like absolutely mindless work that you could just turn your brain off, and I just write music in my head while I did this like incredibly menial job. Whereas I don't know, I do find I've never bust, like what I work now, like I'm like cooking and serving more. Whereas that I find I kind of can't like turn my brain off. Like when I'm like talking to people and I'm like trying to like multitask doing like 10 things at once, you know, like I can't really be writing music in like the background. Like I have to kind
Right.
of I have to be on task or whatever.
Bussing
But
tables. There was something about bussing tables where it, you're just you're a tool. You know, you're there to move the plates into the tub, wipe and reset. And there was something about the mindlessness of that. And I would get high. That was back when I smoked weed, and I would get high at this job, and I would write songs like lyrics and beats and melody lines like in my fucking head. And I'm,
hell yeah, brother. I'll think of stuff like on the bus or something too with yeah, like I have a from like my other project, the Winky Frown thing. Like whenever I think of like an idea when I'm like on the go, I have like this what's it called? I have like a just something in my notes app of all the ideas I think of, and I'll write down like key phrases, maybe just like hum a melody into just like a voice note or something. And then when I'm like feeling more creative later, I can just like revisit yeah, just like my little notes and stuff and just be like, what can I turn into a song?
well, it's funny because you're like, I'm not concentrating on music anymore, like career oriented. But as far as your output is concerned, you're like have a pretty prolific output. Can you? Because I got to say hi to my father-in-law. He just got into town. Can you
Hey.
can you rifle through and describe some of your musical projects that you've done over the years, and just give like maybe like a Wikipedia definition of what each of the projects is?
Okay. Of like the ones that are like actually mine, not just like
Just,
other people's bands I
just in
played in.
general, just because I'm gonna toss some links down at the bottom. I think it'd be because we're bullshitting, but also I think people, if they want to know you, they should definitely listen to some of the stuff you make, because it's like really there's a whole lot of it.
There is a lot of it. Okay, so I'll leave out like the other people's bands I played in, at least like my own
Yeah,
projects.
yeah,
Yeah, my old band, Critical, would have been like the first one. That was like, we called it funk metal or whatever. It was, I don't know, very bungle-esque, kind of, I don't know, similar to what you did with Downtown Brown, and that's how we met.
yeah.
Yeah, I did that for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years or something. Ended in 2017. I guess in chronological order or whatever.
Yeah, it makes
Um,
sense.
yeah, I have like the Fondo stuff, which is like what we released the like the SUMPP track under as like a collaborator, and I don't know, that's just like whatever I kind of feel like doing. A lot of it's kind of like alt R&B or whatever. Yeah, I don't even know what I'm doing. Kind of like a little bit more mellow stuff. Like in general, I have like my current band that I play in Ottawa called Uncle Depressant, and that's like I don't know, crossover thrash, hardcore, a little bit more like rock and roll and stuff lately, but oh yeah, still a little all over the place as far as what we're doing, but you know, very much kind of within that kind of punk and metal umbrella. And then yeah, I guess the prolific one is like I have a project that I kind of like made as like a joke almost called Winky Frown, which is just like pure stream of conscious, just bullshitting, making music really fast.
Yes.
And I've made yeah, I think I have 3 albums and like a single B-side that I put out in the past year. So that's I think it's what 29 tracks total in a year. Isn't bad. Um, and that's like for the most part that's mine. I was thinking about like trying because I'm off school for the week. I was thinking about trying to make more Winky for now, and then I was just like, that's pretty intense to just like make an album in a couple days. You know, just like maybe I could actually like use this time to like rest. So I decided maybe it's a good idea to use this time to rest. I've been like again pretty busy, like being in school full time, still working part time, still recording a few songs for people a month, still playing. So yeah, still playing in like a band, even if it's only like locally and regionally and stuff. Like we still have, yeah, we just played last week. We have like two more regional gigs coming up in like the next couple weeks, and then that's antidepressants, and then I told these guys like I need to like take the rest of the year off after this so I could like not fail my exams.
Yeah, so you're a busy guy. But the Winky Frown project, would you consider that egg punk kind of?
I was calling it egg punk originally. I feel like it's kind of morphed into enough of its own thing that I don't know. It's got like elements like of a lot of things. Like I think I was like very inspired, yeah, specifically by like Snooper and Prison Affair, when I made like the first one. But like it just started kind of getting weirder and becoming something that's like harder to like put a label on. Like if I'd recommend any listening from that one, it would be 3. I feel like Winky Frown 3. That's the other thing I like about that project is it's got no aesthetic. I just the aesthetic is just pure minimalism. All the album covers are just the logo, which is just a winky frown, a semicolon, and a bracket in Times New Roman, and then whatever Roman numeral correlates to the number of the album or whatever. So like, and the only colors I use are black and white. So like, yeah, I like that aspect of it too. Is just like there's not really an aesthetic to it. It's kind of just like extremely minimalist aesthetic, and you're just supposed to listen to the music.
I like that. So how many tracks are on 3 by Winky Frown?
9. I arbitrarily decided that every album needs to have 9 songs on it. I don't know if I'll because then you get to create lore like surrounding like the track. You just be like, oh, this is song 6, and it relates to the last set of song 6s.
Oh, interesting.
Like that's at least my idea. That like what specific place it holds on the album has significance because every album's the same amount of tracks.
Ah.
But I don't know. Like again, the more like arbitrary rules you set for yourself, the more you potentially could stifle the creative process. So I like to work within some kind of restriction. I think is nice. Like setting a little. Oh yeah, Feels Good, man. That was the other one I did. The pop punk project.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
You get like it's funny because yeah, you've released a lot of music. So
I have released a lot of music, and I've played with other bands and done a bunch of stuff for them too. Not to mention, the like other like 500 songs I've recorded since like 2020. But like the thing is, the music I make for myself, other than maybe like my old band where like we still had like hopes and dreams back then.
I remember
like,
those.
yeah, like everything since that is just like, yeah, no, like the band I play in now, like the 2 guys I play with, like both have like careers and have like no plans of like, giving up these like, good lives they've built to, chase some dream in like a band or whatever. Like it's just something for fun that we're doing on like weekends and stuff. Winky Frown I literally just made an album because I was frustrated with the drawn out process of making a longer album with a team for Uncle Depressant. So I was just like, I had a couple days off. I'm just going to bullshit an album in like 2 days. And I just recorded, I think 5 songs one day, 4 songs the next day, just did a really quick, lazy mix and master on them and just threw it on Bandcamp. And then like, yeah, like people just like blogs just started sharing. It's not a huge response or anything, but like a few blogs shared it. A few people like bought it. I think like, I don't know, 40 or 50 people have like bought Winky Frown albums at this point, which is not like a giant number, but I think it's like hilarious that it's anything for a band that like, it's not even a band. Like it's just like music I made in my living room. I've never put a cent into that project. It has no social media. I don't promote it like whatsoever.
But there's something to be said about, you were just feeling a certain way and it was stream of consciousness expression and you just captured a moment in your life and it resonated with some people. It's a good feeling.
It
And
is. I almost find that's what makes it harder for me to make more music with that project now, is just like now because I've actually like seen response from it, and like there is actually a community that responds to like the music that I've made with it. Like now I have an expectation set for myself that it's just like, oh, well, I need to make music for these bloggers and these like people that keep promoting my music for me, you know?
well, I can totally understand that because when I was recording all the Sump stuff, I was just live streaming in 2020 during the pandemic, and I didn't even know what it was while I was making it. And now that it has a fucking logo and merch and a name, and like one of the songs has almost 500,000 fucking plays on Spotify, it's like, okay, well, do I follow this formula? Um, do I make more fucking gay sex parody songs? Is this like what I am now? Am I like fucking dirty Weird Al in 2025? And the answer is no. I don't want to be that. I want to continue to do what this project was, and that was like no rules, stream of consciousness, kind of like quick songs, not putting too much thought into it, because I spent 21 years putting way too much thought into everything and spending way too much time and way too much money on these big fucking ideas and trying to make it into a career. And it's just like, I don't want that anymore. I want to do and say what I feel. And I want to be as goofy as I want to be, as serious as I want to be, all simultaneously. And I don't want there to be a set of rules. But it's weird. Yeah, you're right. Like as you do this stuff, it's like you're almost creating your own set of rules or your own guidelines to what this thing is, and I don't like it. I don't like it.
You like put yourself into a box because like I think it's just like, you know, I don't know, kind of like relates to like even like a bit of like the looking glass self and stuff, and like how you think your, I guess in this case your art is being perceived. But like at first, you know, you're just making it for yourself, and then when you start to put it out there and you start to see the response that you get from people, and you see the kind of people that like it and the kind of people that respond it and support it, and there's that feedback loop of people, you know, telling you your art's good, and then that makes you feel good, and then you're just like, I want to keep riding that high of like that feeling or whatever. And then at a certain point, like, you know, a little shift happens where you know, you start making it for what you perceive the people that are enjoying it are going to like, and it stops just being this pure and true, just just raw output. You know,
Yeah.
you start making music, you start making it for the people you think are gonna like it instead of like for yourself. Or it's like it's some balance in between. Like obviously you're gonna like it too, or you wouldn't be making it. I hope.
Right. And that's like the tightrope of it all, is because you want to continue doing this thing that is this extension of yourself, but it's almost, you have this voice in the back of your head being like, okay, well, this worked last time and this didn't work last time, and maybe you should try this, and maybe you should do this within these confines. And it's a tightrope, because I just want to do whatever the fuck I want to do, but also there's like, it's this idea of now there's an audience for it, kind of ruins it.
Yeah, and like straight up, man, like that's why, you know, I made the decision to like go back to school at like 35. You know, I kind of had this like realization. I'm just like, dog, like we're supposed to work till we're like 70. Like we have a lot more of this like left. Like neither of us are old, man.
uh,
And it's just like, well, do I really want to just be like slogging it out, working, you know, just like like hospitality and labor jobs when I'm like 60? Like that sounds like horrible. And you know, I've tried doing music in like various capacities. I know when I was playing with you, I was also I was playing with like Old James, the other band there. There was a Montreal band that I'd go back and forth to like play with. And I was really trying so hard to just like make my music, just playing in as many bands as possible, and like and touring and gigging and finding like random stuff to do in between to kind of like fill the gaps. And just because like I think a lot of us like hold on to like this idea that it makes you like more valid of an artist if you're making money off of it, which as I've gotten, especially when I started doing Fiverr, I found the most money I've ever made as a musician, like reliably, like has been as a session musician. I guess like that's just kind of what I was good at or whatever. But I also found, when I was making the most money as a session musician, um, I was taking on like, and I've found this too, the same with people that like, yeah, do it live in the bar scene. Like, I think my buddy who was like more of like a gigging drummer or whatever, like in the bar scene, he'd call them like drop dead gigs, is just like the ones where, yeah, just like you really don't want to do it, but it's paying you that like 100, $150 that night that you wouldn't have made like otherwise. And just like you gotta take it because you're a full time musician. You can't afford to be turning stuff down. And I felt like the same way, like recording. Like sometimes I'd work on these awful fucking songs that I thought sucked ass, or it was like an okay song, but the person was kind of like an asshole or whatever. But I'd take the gig on because I'm just like I can't afford to be turning this down. I need to be taking on like everything I can, and just like the more I kind of delved into it, and the more I realized it's just like if I always have to make compromises. Like maybe I don't know, maybe if I was like way better, like ridiculously fucking good, and I had like more control over like who hired me or whatever. But I find like I'm just a dude. I can't do everything. There's some things I do well. There's some things I don't do well. And I find specifically in music too, on all levels, you know, on like doing Fiverr, for me trying to charge like reasonable enough rates where I'm not trying to do like anything that's even like close to a full song for like any like take home under $100 is there's somebody who's like a little green and is just stoked to make money off music offering to do it for $20, and like some people are just going to be like, well, I want the person who has like more experience. I'm willing to pay the premium for like the experience and the rapport that like comes with hiring somebody more experienced or whatever. But there's a lot of people that just want to do it cheap. It's the same with it's the same in like the contract world, hiring a cheaper painter versus like the more expensive painter or a cheap roofer or something. um like yeah, I just find most people are just going to have to make those compromises. And I find just like the more I kind of compromise and the more I'm working on music that I don't really want to work on, I'd find I'd get off, I'd go do my groceries, and I'd just be like, I'm going to leave my headphones at home. Like, I don't want to listen to music today. I'm sick of music. And I don't want to feel like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing when everything is monetized, including your passions, it can definitely suck the soul out of those things you enjoy,
Yeah, totally, twin. And that's why, again, that's why I'm in school. I'm looking for things that I like studying. Like right now, I mostly study science. I think science is super cool. I want to learn more about science. In like the path that I'm kind of like looking at taking now, if I continue going down it, it'll be like a few more years of school. I probably won't come out of it making like crazy money or anything. Like it would be like, you know, a normal, like stable, like 60K a year or something job. But like, yeah, that's like $30 an hour. Like that's good. If I could like be in a position where like basically this is like my goal or whatever is, one day I'd like to just like own a house where I could like set up a home studio and I can have like a board and I can have a drum kit and I can have like all the stuff I needed to just make the art I want to make when I feel like it, and the freedom and the capacity to just be able to do whatever the fuck I want.
That's the dream, man.
Like that, yeah, that's all I want, man. And just like I don't need to be making money off music. I just want the freedom to make the music I want when I want to do it. And I think the less you're trying to like monetize it, the more like true and pure your output kind of is.
I think I'm gonna go back to college, bro.
Maybe. Again, like you just do what you just got to do what you want to do, man. You want to what's it called? Do you want to sing about you want to sing about dicks?
Kinda. I mean, that's the thing too. Is like it's what's funny about the project that I started doing in 2022 or whatever, and all those live stream songs that I put on the album, is like there was dick parodies all over that, you know. And it's just because I was it was during the pandemic and I had my keyboard and I was singing like Lady Gaga, you know, caught in a bad romance, and I changed the lyrics to caught with some poopy pants. You know, it's stupid, and I was making myself laugh, and I was modulating the key, and I was like, you know, getting really high with the falsetto, and I heard a guy on the internet say he said I want to make good music about stupid stuff, and I you know, I agree with that. I want you know, I want to be singing in tune operatically. And singing well, because I'm like some would consider a classically trained vocalist. You know, I went to Interlochen on a vocal music scholarship in high school. I want to
You're a good singer, dude.
I want to sing well about dumb shit, and that's what SUMPP is.
Hell yeah.
You know,
and I mean, take it from a guy who's like made enough fucking like dick and poop jokes like in their music.
but the thing is it's when people start saying that that's the best thing you ever did. When when it's just it's a fucking shit post. It's a musical. Meaty Lance is a musical shit post that went viral, and you know, when people are saying it's genius, it's not genius, dude. It's funny, but it's not like really.
And I feel as though, like, well, I mean, you've pigeonholed yourself into the situation before, you know, just like the Meaty Lance thing just seems like a larger scale version of like Poot in the Boots, where like, you know, you released that as a single, and then yeah, like with Downtown Brown or whatever, like you guys just never wanted to play like Poot in the Boot live. You're like, I'm so sick of that stupid song, but you know,
I like
it caught
that song
on for being like silly and like ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, that song was, at least on YouTube, one of the most viewed things we ever did.
Yeah, and just like you'd like wince when you'd go to a show and somebody'd be like, "Oh, can you play Poot in the Boot?"
But I don't think I would do that now. Like I will, I would like when I do the SUMPP show, I do play Meaty Lance because
as you should. Like that's what like a lot of people are like there for. You can't like what's it called? You can't just like deny giving the people what they want. Just like you're the one, whether or not. And I think a lot of it's just you being like more mature about like what your relationship with your art and what your audience is than you were like 10 or 15 years ago. But also too, like yeah, like you've made this product now. Like it belongs to the world now. It's not yours. Like you, like who? Even if you're the motherfucker who made it, like who are you to tell people how they're supposed to feel about it? You know?
I'm not. What I will point out here and there, and I do try to vary the content in a way where it's like, okay, here's me actually playing guitar well. Here's me actually talking about my feelings. And then here's a dick joke. I try to vary it, and I put the set together in a way where I'm talking about a lot of stuff, and I'm talking about it very swiftly, like the song subjects are changing, boom, 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 and I'm throwing social commentary in there, and I'm throwing my opinions on, you know, the pharmaceutical industry, yada yada. I'm saying a lot, but it comes across as very bombastic and stupid, and some people are gonna get it. Some people aren't, and that's fine.
Oh no, totally. Like I mean, there is a lot going on because like there is a lot of like intellectualism like in your social commentary and like in your lyrics, you know, juxtaposed against talking about like dicks and fucking poop and like stupid shit. And you know, just
Yes.
like yeah, when there's like such a high contrast in like the content of what you're making, like not everybody's gonna get it, you know.
No,
it's kind of
and
it's a
also
weird mix.
right, and also I can't be mad if if the poop rises to the surface, and that's all people see, because it just is what it is. People are gonna see what they want to see, and if they just see, oh, this guy's a Peter Pan cringe lord, that's fine, because I mean, fuck it, dude.
I think we just talked about this yesterday when we were making like the plans to like to contentize our talking on the phone is just like what's it called? Yeah, I think you're better off, finding your like niche core audience, because like what you're doing like is kind of all over the place. And what people see on the surface level, if you're getting like most of that surface level audience, a lot of people aren't going to look deeper. They're not going to look for like that that more intellectual content, and that more like musical content that's juxtaposed against a cover song about a Weird Al dick song or whatever. So like I think like rather than trying to just like reach the largest audience possible, like you're better off just trying to find like your audience. It's the 1,000 true fans thing, if you could yeah well yeah like 1,000 true fans. But it's a book. I forgot who wrote it. I'm the worst. But the whole idea is just like if you could get 1,000 people to spend $1,000 on you a year, that's $100,000.
That's a big. That's a big amount.
Yeah, like that's a huge amount.
Yeah.
So like the whole idea is just like you don't need to just like reach this gigantic audience of like, people that'll hear the joke online, laugh, share your reel or whatever, but like never buy anything and never like show up to a gig or whatever. But like even you're like 100 true fans.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing I will say, because I'm like I've been telling people lately, I'm on the end of the bell curve of the giant wave of algorithm favor that I received, and I was talking to the Seattle guy Steel Beans about it, but I'm at the point where I'm kind of at the end of the big push that Meta and Facebook and to even TikTok. Like I kind of like was striking gold there for a little bit, but now that I'm at the end of it, I'm really realizing that the people who the certain content that I make, the people that find that shit enjoyable, they don't like the rest of the things that I do, and it's okay. Because the floor has been raised, like the gigs that I'm doing now and the guarantees that I'm getting and the opportunities that I'm getting, it's all like it's I mean, you were around and when we did because we didn't just do tours opening for Psychostick, we did tours where we did headlining shows, and you saw how bad it was and how tough it was, and as much as some guy, fucking 62-year-old dude in the audience was like, wow, you guys are really proficient at your instruments. At the end of the day, my old band wasn't really selling tickets. I was just addicted to this idea of like, if I keep pushing, this is eventually going to work, No,
and I mean, when I was doing it with you, like it wasn't really my band. I was kind of coming and filling in for you guys. So like, I don't think I felt like the same disappointment as like, you did when we played a show to like, 10 people. But I could see for you, you're just like, I've been doing this band for like 15 years and I'm like putting all this work in, and just like, like 10 people bought tickets to the show. It could be, it could be like demoralizing or whatever. And for me, it's easy. I'm just like, well, I'm just like doing this run. I came in from Canada,
But the thing that really got to me after a long period of time is the fact that as a band, I was bringing a bunch of other people in to my world that was failing. You know what I mean? When you're like pushing 40, or you're like you just turned 40 and you go on tour and you're playing these like tiny shows, and there's 3 other people that are all close to your age that are along with you, and you're each getting paid like $30 a night. It's just, I don't know, something had to give, dude. And now if a show eats shit, I'm still able, as a solo artist, to sell enough merch and to capitalize off of those people who are there, even if it's a small crowd, to at least break even. And now at the point I'm at, like 9 times out of 10, I'm able to afford a room as well, because I'm 44 years old, and I got a bad knee and a bad back, so I need to sleep in a horizontal position. But hey, all this being said, I'm gonna let you go, but everyone needs to check out John's stuff. Check out Winky Frown. Feels good, man. I'm gonna put a bunch of links in the YouTube description here.
Uncle-Depressant. It's another active band.
Yes.
And you can listen to Critical if you want, my dead band. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, and so John and I talk. It's funny because I tell people, I'm like, I don't have a lot of friends these days. I have a few of them, and some of them live in another country. And John's one of my international friends that we talk on the regular about stuff. And yeah,
I don't see that many people like in real life. You know, I'm kind of like busy. I mean, I feel like I talk to you on the phone as much as I like see any of my like actual friends. Well, no, not you're my actual friend. I'm wording that.
It's
so badly.
nice. Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're trying to say.
The ones in my proximity. I mean, just like I feel like we are quite close, which is funny, considering we've only ever actually met. We've only ever met in person 4 times. Except 3 of those times were for like a month of like sitting next to each other. So like it kind of expedites the friendship.
That's what I'm saying. And if you've ever been in a band with someone, you know that time on tour, if you're doing a bunch of shows together, it is like an expedited way of getting to know a person, because you're with that person, you're living with them, and they're sitting next to you for hours and hours. And then on top of it, you're playing music with them, which, you know, I try to explain this to my wife, and she was like, I don't know. I think playing music with someone is a very intimate thing. It's not like it's not like I don't necessarily consider it sexually intimate, but you're communicating with a person on a level that is deeper than like it's a language, you know. And
I mean, we also made out all those times.
Oh yeah, we did a bit where when we were touring with this metal band, where we would kiss on stage, and we thought we were being progressive and freaking out the squares. But
yeah, we do it to like freak out people in like small towns and stuff. Just be like, look how gay we are.
Yeah, but it's funny because real quick before I let you go, the time the guy at the machine shop bought our CD, and he said, you know, for a bunch of gay guys, you're pretty good. Like I always thought that was kind of funny.
I'm just like, this is why I do this.
I just think it's funny that in his mind, if we were gay, it would be like rare for us to be in a good band. Like that mentality is wild to me.
It is, but I mean, just like he's trying.
Yeah.
He's trying.
He was open-minded enough to see 2 guys kiss on stage and then still purchase the album. So
yeah, that's what I mean. Just like I feel just like, you know, he's one of the good ones.
Right. It's just funny how
just a little ignorance, you know.
Yeah, just funny how he his logic on purchasing the album. He's like, yes, I'm impressed that 2 gay men could be in a band that I enjoyed.
Yeah, exactly. I feel just like, you know, there's no shame in ignorance, you know. I'll leave on this more serious note or whatever. There is no shame in being ignorant, but there is shame in being presented with the correct information and continuing to ignore it.
I agree.
You know? There is nothing wrong with just not knowing. There's only something wrong with refusing to learn.
Words of wisdom to leave you with on a Tuesday night. Is it Tuesday?
I think so.
Yeah. Having a good time on a Tuesday night with my friend John Ublanksy. I have to go and play Good Son-in-Law.
You are a good son-in-law.
I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. And
all right.
I'm
Peace out.
I'm chasing
whoever's watching.
I'm chasing that bag. Everyone listen to Winky Frown. I'm gonna go listen to Winky Frown 3 and I'm gonna experience the.
Listen to all my bands. It'll take you a long time.
Right, that's good. I like your stuff. You do good stuff, and yeah, listen to the Sump song "Punk is Dad." it features John on the bass and guitar, just fucking ripping it, rip roaring.
Yeah, going crazy, dog. I'm scratching. I got the eczema.
Yeah,
It's really itchy.
I'm scratching my eczema-laden outer layer. All right, I gotta go, dude.
Let's get out of here. All right, peace out, bro.
Okay, bye. Thanks for being on the podcast. Bye.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it, John Ublanksy, Canadian friend of the show, Canadian friend in real life of me, Neil Patterson, and yeah, come see me in the UK. Come see me in Columbus, Ohio on Saturday, and also I'm gonna be doing kind of what John talked about, and it was funny when he was talking about, I just want to place a house where I can make music, and it's like I'm thinking to myself, I kind of have that. He has a studio set up in his apartment as well, but just the idea of having the ability to make stuff, I need to harness that. So my main goal in the next however many months is to fucking finish my album. And I'm going to need some help. I'm going to need to hire like a mixing engineer and do some other things. But yeah, I got all these ideas and it's time. I toured a lot this year for me. I spent a lot of time driving around other bands, and it's time to be in the basement and make stuff. So the time is now. Basement, make stuff. And yeah, no rules, no guidelines, just pure expression, whether it's dicks or talking about my feelings. It's going to be both. All the time, forever. Okay, there you go. Love you, bye. Hey, thanks for watching the video. Comment below. It helps the algorithm. And then there's a Patreon link right here if you want to support the channel. You could also subscribe. And there's another video around here that you can watch if you want to watch more stuff. Your time is greatly appreciated. Hope you have a fantastic day.